Hello everyone. Today we will be taking a look at a movie called Movie 43, released in the year 2013. The movie opens up with a young boy, Calvin Cutler, and his friend JJ filming a weird video, with JJ throwing a dartboard at Cutler's face, while he is holding a dart in his mouth. Later, they post the video on YouTube, and surprisingly, when they refresh the page, it has an immediate view count of over 1 million. Seeing this, Cutler and JJ get excited, but soon, Cutler's younger brother, Baxter, video calls them and reveals that he cloned YouTube and is inflating their views while working on a science project. After this humiliation, Cutler and JJ make a plan to get back at Baxter by stealing his laptop and filling it with various viruses from porn sites. In an effort to get vengeance, Cutler and JJ inform Baxter about a movie that is so evil that it would wipe off humanity. The film is referred to as Movie 43. While Baxter searches the movie among various private search engines on the internet, Cutler cleverly enters Baxter's room, grabs his laptop, and starts downloading videos from different porn sites to infect it with viruses. Meanwhile, in a website which Baxter refers to as a dark corner of the internet, he discovers a number of movies named Movie 43. Starting with the 43rd movie from the results list, Baxter and JJ begin watching the movies. In the first movie, we are introduced to Beth, a British entrepreneur, who is single and is getting ready for a blind date set up by one of her friends. Her date is actually set up with the most eligible bachelor in New York City, Davis. Moments later, Davis and Beth meet at a fancy restaurant. To her surprise, when Davis takes off his scarf, it is revealed that he has a pair of testicles hanging from his neck. She finds it perplexing that Davis refuses to accept his physical deformity. Moreover, no one seems to be shocked by it when they approach Davis. The scene shifts back to Baxter and JJ, who are surprised to see the gross scene in the movie. In the second movie, a couple, Anna and Sean, meet their new neighbors, Robert and Samantha, for coffee, recently after moving to their new house. During their conversation, Robert and Samantha mention their teenage son, Kevin, and reveal that he has been homeschooled throughout his life. Anna and Sean are surprised to hear that and begin questioning the couple about how they managed to do so. Without wasting any time, Robert starts explaining the many ways he and Samantha have created a high school atmosphere in their house, including hazing, bullying, and assigning detentions to Kevin, similar to what happens in high school. The neighbors, who are obviously scared, eventually run into Kevin, who claims to be heading out and gives them the idea that everything is normal. Suddenly, he pulls out a doll made out of a mop with Samantha's face on it and refers to it as his girlfriend. The third movie begins with Doug, a young boy who is planning to propose to his girlfriend, Julie. It has already been a year since Julie and Doug started dating. Later, when Doug attempts to confess his love for Julie, she discloses to him that she is a coprophiliac and demands that he poop on her in the bedroom. The next day, Doug eats a substantial dinner and downs a bottle of laxative before the event at the urging of his closest buddy, Larry. Julie wants to engage in foreplay, but as Doug has already taken the laxative, he cannot wait to poop as fast as possible. When Doug wants to finish it fast, Julie becomes enraged and rushes into the street. Doug tries to follow her, but is struck by a car while pursuing her. Seeing this, Julie cradles him and apologizes to him. Despite being surrounded by poop all over the place, Julie states that the scene around her is the most beautiful sight she has ever seen, and eventually accepts his marriage proposal. Back to Baxter. He can be seen calculating various mathematical formulae and trying to solve the situation. On the other hand, Cutler opens a porn site and starts pleasuring himself to it. In the fourth film, a young boy, Neil, is working in a local supermarket, completing his night shift. Right then, his ex-girlfriend, Veronica, approaches him and starts arguing over their past relationship. In no time, their conversation takes a form of sexual discussion. Unbeknownst to them, Neil's intercom, through which he was announcing some time before, broadcasts the entire explicit conversation throughout the store, where various elderly people are shopping. After Veronica departs in tears, the elderly customers come together and agree to cover Neil's night shift while he goes to make up with Veronica. After an advertisement, the fifth movie starts with a speed dating venue in Gotham City where Batman and his partner Robin are looking for a bomb threat made by their arch-enemy, Penguin. While Supergirl and Lois Lane are among the women Robin is trying to connect through speed dating, Batman runs into his ex-girlfriend Wonder Woman and argues with her over their past relationship. In the meantime, Penguin sets up the Supergirl with the bomb and threatens to blow her up. Fortunately, Robin fights with Penguin and stops him from blowing up Supergirl. However, when Robin is kissing Supergirl after saving her, Batman approaches him and reveals that Supergirl is actually the Riddler, a supervillain. As Baxter and JJ continue viewing films, they are interrupted by a guy named Vrankovich and a crew of Chinese mobsters who are enticed to uncover Movie 43. Vrankovich also warns Baxter and JJ that if they find Movie 43, it will lead to the world's destruction. Despite the warnings, the duo continues looking for the movie. In the next movie, Nathan and Amanda, two teenage friends, decide to go to Nathan's place to have their first date. As they begin to kiss, Nathan's older brother, Mikey, walks into the living room and teases them. Just then, Amanda notices that she is bleeding and tries to cover it. In the meantime, Nathan spots the bloodstain on the couch and panics, believing that she is bleeding to death. Mikey also notices blood on Amanda's pants and starts looking around for tampons. In no time, a ruckus ensues when Amanda's dad enters the room and assumes that Nathan's family behaved inappropriately with her. Back to Baxter and JJ. They get to know that the Chinese mobsters are so desperate to find Movie 43 that they even kidnap JJ's classmate, Stevie Schrader, the oldest son of film producer Griffin Schrader. Afraid, they continue searching for the movie. In the next movie, for his roommate Brian's birthday, Pete captures a leprechaun, a supernatural, diminutive figure. They take the leprechaun to their basement and urge him to provide them with a chest full of gold. However, the leprechaun makes outrageous threats, saying that his brother is on the way to save him. Soon, the doorbell rings, and when Pete approaches the door, he finds a pot full of gold. He becomes excited and carries the pot to the basement. Unfortunately, another leprechaun, probably the first one's brother, comes out of the pot and fires at Brian and Pete. However, the roommates manage to kill both leprechauns and keep the gold. At last, Pete discloses that he has also captured a fairy who fellatios for gold coins. As soon as the movie ends, Baxter brings a high-power processor and begins searching rigorously for the movie, using his full potential. During this attempt, he comes across another movie. The movie opens up in a Mexican restaurant where two grown-ups, Donald and Emily, are enjoying their first date. In the meantime, Emily invites Donald to a round of Truth or Dare because she is sick of standard conversation first dates. He challenges her to blow out the candles on a blind boy's birthday cake after she challenges him to grasp a man's buttocks. The game quickly becomes out of control, and both of them embarrass themselves by getting tattoos and plastic surgery. Back at Emily's flat, Donald and Emily give their date high marks. She refuses Donald's attempt to kiss her, saying she doesn't find Asian guys attractive. After continuously searching for Movie 43, Baxter and JJ ultimately discover the original movie, which includes Baxter playing a belligerent commando who guides a group of trainees to survive after the end of the world. Soon, Cutler also joins them after destroying Baxter's laptop with the viruses. While the three of them are watching the movie, Cutler and Baxter's mother arrives there, wearing the same shirt and pants as the porn site ladies that Cutler saw earlier. Seeing this, Cutler freaks out and apologizes to his mom. Right then, a terrible earthquake strikes, wiping out all of mankind. Following this, the scene fast-forwards 2 years, where Cutler, the last survivor, discovers Baxter's laptop, which is still functional. He uses the laptop to view the last movie from the list. The scene then shifts to 1959, before the first ever game of all-black basketball team against an all-white men's team. Coach Jackson gives a speech to his all-blacks team, telling them that they are superior to their white opponents. At the same time, the white team intervenes in the discussion and tries to belittle the black players. Despite this, when the game starts, the all-white team loses horribly but celebrates their lone point at the end of the match. After all the credits are over, a last part of the movie plays. In this part, Amy, a young girl, is concerned that her boyfriend, Anson's cat, Beazle, is interfering with their relationship and disturbing them. However, Anson only views Beazle as an innocent little pet. Beazle, on the other hand, appears to hate Amy and anybody who tries to get closer to Anson. One day, Amy notices Beazle masturbating to images of Anson wearing a swimsuit during a summer vacation. She immediately tries to inform Anson about it, but Beazle confronts her and furiously urinates on her. Amy tries to tell Anson about what Beazle did, but Anson still believes that his pet is innocent. Hearing this, Amy threatens to leave if Anson doesn't get rid of Beazle. Left with no option, Anson decides to find a new home for Beazle, since he is more concerned about his relationship with Amy. The following day, when it's time to send Beazle away, Amy and Anson search the whole house but cannot find him. Amy walks outdoors to search, and right then, Beazle runs a truck over her and tries to kill her. Amy, however, grabs a shovel and hits Beazle before he could shoot her to death. She then strikes Beazle continuously with a shovel and gets noticed by a group of children who are present at a birthday celebration in a nearby house. Soon, Anson also arrives there and is taken aback to see Amy hitting Beazle with a shovel. Amy tries to explain Beazle's intentions, but Anson supports his cat, who pretends to be innocent. After Anson leaves with Beazle, Amy gets beaten up and stabbed by the children with plastic forks.